Alright, so in this video what I'm going to do is show you guys how to make a reverse foot rig. The idea with a reverse foot rig is basically it allows you to like IK the leg, but to pivot from the toe as opposed to up here. Because right now if you were to look, all my pivoting, well, that butt needs some work, all my pivoting comes from the top down, right? And that's fine. For some things, like arms generally move kind of that way, but with the foot, you're going to want to do IK. So we could do this, and this will also sort of work, but you're going to see I don't have a way to like rotate from the foot up, so that doesn't really quite work either. So we're going to create what we call reverse foot rig, and it's a little bit different. So what I want you to do is this. We're going to we are going to do this. So let's go ahead and template the thing here, and then we are going to do like this. Okay, we want to go to a side view. Okay, and then we're going to go to joints, and we're going to do a joint chain, but going upwards as opposed to going downwards. It'll make more sense once we start doing it. So we want it right at the base of the heel. These joints are not going to be bound to the player. They're just there at pivot points. So I'm going to draw one here. Okay. Then I'm going to hold V, and I'm going to point snap it to this one. Then we're going to hold V and point snap it. And actually, let me turn the character off now just to make sure we don't actually point snap to the character at all. Then we're going to hold V and point snap it to this one. And then still holding V, this one. And you can hit enter. So you're going to end up with a joint chain that goes this direction. So you can see this one to toe, then toe to ball, then ball to ankle. Okay? And you might get the idea of kind of what this is going to do. It'll allow me to pivot from my from my heel, and I can also pivot from my toe, right? Or my my ball of my foot. Okay. Now tap spacebar, and what you're going to see is that that doesn't quite work. So what happened is that those snaps, but because if you're on a side view, it always draws to the origin. So I need to move it. Now if you just try to move it, you're going to see that that's not going to work. So what you need to actually do is hold D to move it. And I'm just going to quickly switch this to a world because I just want to move it this way. I'm going to hold D, and that will allow me to move it without moving the other joints. Alright, and let me just turn on Geo and make sure that we are indeed where we want to be. So holding D, move pivot, and I'm just going to make sure that we're right there. Is probably good. I want to make it straight kind of with the rest of the foot. That looks good. Alright. So I'm going to try this again because I don't need it right at the moment. And now what I want to do is, after we've done this, I'm going to hit Shift-I to isolate selected. And I'm going to switch my tool settings back to object. So that's all good. And then we're going to go to the component mode and the question mark because I just got to change the orientation of this. So we're going to go ahead and it's going to make it so that make sure X points down the joint chain as best as I can, and then we will roll Z out this way so that it's going outwards, a little bit back, good, and then this one doesn't really matter as per usual, but it just bothers me if it's not perfect. Okay, and like that. Okay, so we'll call that good. And oh, actually that's a little bit off, and the Z is also in the wrong direction. Oops. Alright, okay, so all these are pointing to the left or right depending on the angle that you're looking at, and that's going up. Okay, good. Alright, now we'll go back into object mode. You can also tap F8 if you're on a PC, because I know a lot of you guys aren't PCs now because we're not at school. So that's just between component and object mode, so you know. A lot of those F1s and all those things, they all have like functions that they do, like quick ways of switching. All right, so here's the thing. This is one of the things that kind of sucks about rigging here. Oh, I'm isolate selected. That's why it's not showing up. One of the things that stinks about rigging is that I can't just make one leg and then duplicate it for the other. We actually have to make them both. So in order to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to have nothing selected and hit Shift I so I get everything back. What we're going to do is I want to take this and put it on this side too, but I don't want to have to remake it. So what I'm going to do is go to the joint tool. I'm just going to hold X, make sure you're right on origin like that when I click on it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take this, select this, I'm going to hit P to parent it. And now I can go on this. Actually, let's do this too. Modify, where are you? Search and replace names. And we're going to look for joint. We're just going to call it reverse foot underscore L underscore JNT and replace. Good. So now those are all named correctly. Now select this and go to skeleton. And we're going to mirror and look for underscore L underscore R. Make sure it's YZ and also behavior. And mirror it. Now it's on the other side. Now I'm going to select both of these, and I'm just going to hit Shift P, and then I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so now I have the other one on the other side. I don't have to make it again, and it's got all the correct orientation because I did it on this one and flipped it for the other side. So that ends up working out pretty well. Yay! All right. So now we can kind of carry on from there. So we've got that going on. The next thing we need to do is this. We need to set up our IK foot here. So you can click on this, or you can go to skeleton IK handle tool and hit the option box. If you click on it here, just hit the tool settings, and then you'll get the options here. Make sure that it's on the rotate plane solver. Also select sticky, and the rest are fine. Okay, so we're just going to do both of them at the same time to make this a little bit easier. I want you to click here to here, and then hit Y to bring that tool up again, and then here to here. Okay. Now that you may have noticed that when we had the tool open, there was single plane solver and rotate plane solver. The difference is basically this: is that this will actually allow you to twist. Let's try that again. Will allow me to twist so I can rotate my knee. So that's why it'll rotate, which we need to be able to do because I can rotate my knees inwards and outwards, right? So that's what that does. For the next ones, we're actually going to use the single chain solver, and that's going to go from here to here, and then one from here to here. Okay, so go back to that tool again, go to the tool settings, and this time choose single chain solver. And I want you to go from this one. We're doing the one that the person's actually bound to. So in this case, it's the Rainbow Brite one. To this, yep, and then hit Y, and go from this one to this. See, it's going to be kind of hard. You might want to do this. Select your guy, and then go all the way up. Hit Shift I, so we're only seeing these. That might make it easier. And then here to here, good. And then hit Y, go from this one, and then Y, this one to this one, and then I'm just going to have nothing selected and hit Shift I. Okay, so now our leg has an IK from the hip to the ankle, and then from the ankle to the ball, and then from the ball to the toe, okay? So now we have all these IK handles. Usually I name them, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Now we have these IK handles. What we're going to do is we're just going to parent each one of those to the joints I just created. So this is going to be a little bit hard. So what I want you to do is select this IK handle. Actually, you know what you should do? Let's do it like this. Man, my middle mouse button doesn't work sometimes. There it goes. Okay, I'm going to select this IK handle. I'm just going to hit Q so I have select. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, and then I'm going to select this joint and this joint, and then hit Shift I. Alright, that way the other joints aren't in the way, because that seems to be a constant problem. So I want to parent basically each one of these IK joints to the corresponding reverse foot joint. So I'm going to select this IK handle, and then this, and hit P. And then I'm going to select this guy, then this, and hit P. And this guy, and then this, and hit P. Alright, and do the same thing over here. This one, to this one, P, this one to this one, P, and this one, oops, not both of those, this one to this one, and P. Okay. Now what you can do is have nothing selected, Shift-I to bring everything back. And what you're going to see is, let me turn on my dude too. When I rotate this now, it can rotate from the heel, like you can, okay? But I can also, if I hit the down arrow, I can rotate from the tip of my toe, right? And if I go like this, I can rotate from the ball of my foot. Alright, so that basically allows us to work reverse foot. So like if I wanted my character to be able to walk on his toes, I can now do that. I can move this around and, you know, so on and so forth. Okay. How come that one's joint oriented? That one's fine. What happened to this one? That's really weird. I'm gonna just double check this real quick. Huh. That's fine there. Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. It actually won't matter anyhow. Okay, so now we need to make some controllers and things to kind of make this a little bit easier to work with. So you can do all sorts of things you want for foot controllers. I am just gonna make really basic, simple things. So we're gonna go to Create, Nerves Primitives, Circle. And I'll delete that. I'm going to create Nerves Primitive Circle, and I'm going to hit the option box. And object is fine. Actually, let's hit Edit, Reset Settings, and use tolerance. Okay, cubic. I was on linear for whatever reason before. So this all looks fine. Create. Good. Now it's an actual circle. I'm going to bring it over here, and over here, and I'm just going to try and shape it like the foot here. Okay. However makes you feel good. So if you want to get a little fancy with it, you can grab, right click, go to Control Vertex, and you could legit try to like shape it sort of like a foot. You know what I mean? So whatever makes you feel good. Things make you feel good sometimes. I don't know. Well, I gotta find our happiness somewhere. Okay. Maybe yours is making foot controller wrists. Probably not, though, would be my guess. Okay. So, imagine I did a good job. I'm also going to take it, and if you remember we did this before, I'm going to go to the attribute editor. I'm going to go down to object display, drawing overrides, and that was not what I was looking for. Or drawing overrides. There we go. Enable overrides. And then I'm going to choose a color here, and I don't care what color you choose. I'm just going to make mine yellow because yellow's bright. Okay. Boop. There you go. So now that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to need to make basically the same one over here, but now the thing I want to do is I want to take the pivot of this and make it the same as this. I'm going to hold D and V. So D like dead, and then V like vagabond. Okay. And I'm just going to grab it, and I just want to snap it to that heel joint. So now it's in the same pivot as basically that, okay? And then we're going to rename this. I'm going to call it foot controller underscore L underscore CRV, okay? So foot controller underscore L underscore CRV. And then that looks fine. You can see it has those values for my skeleton stuff, so I'm just going to go to Modify Free Transformations. That'll clear those all out. I'm also going to go Edit, Delete by Type. Do not click on Delete all by Type. Delete by Type, History. And I'll get rid of any of the extra history. Good. I'm going to Control D to duplicate this. I'm going to hold V. Just hold V to point snap. Point snap it to the other one. I'm going to scale it -1 on X. So now it's on the other side. And I'm going to change the name from L to R. Foot controller R underscore CRV. And then just do Modify Freeze Transformations so that it's also got 0 value, so that's not negative. Okay? Just try and do both at the same time. It makes it a little bit easier. All right. That's pretty cool. So that's going to hold our foot controls, and we'll hook those up in a second. The other thing I need to do is I want to be able to rotate my knees. So one of the things that we can create are called pole vectors. Basically, you make an object And then when you move that object, it will rotate the knee and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just use this locator, but you could make a better object. I'm just going to do this just so because I don't know if you've seen locators before. Basically, you click on that and it makes this little thing. Let me click off of it. It's like a green thing. You see these randomly. Some tools use them and stuff. It's a null object that you could just visually see. And it just has basic transform data. Okay, so that's the idea. It doesn't render. The curves won't render either, by the way. None of this is going to render, just the actual model. So it's just there for position purposes, but we're going to use it like a curve basically for a controller. So I'm just going to call this knee controller underscore L underscore LOC for locator. Okay, and let's go to not tool settings, attribute editor, and go to the shape node, object display, drawing overrides, enable overrides, and go ahead and give it a color. I'm going to give it red this time. Okay, so there you go. And I think, let me see. Yeah, I don't know if I scale this. I think if I scale it down, it will scale. But then as soon as I do modify freeze transforms, yeah, it's going to back up. Okay, so it doesn't matter. All right. So I don't normally use locators. So anyways, we're going to take this locator, and what I want you to do is I want you to hold V, and this is a neat little trick. If you hold V, and then you middle mouse button wiggle, it will snap to that. So I'm going to make sure I have the inside. Notice that this was on. See how that one's yellow, or this one's yellow? Now when I hold V, and if I move it like this, it will snap to the position of things, but only in the one axis. If I click on the inside, see how that's yellow now? If I hold V and middle mouse button and just kind of wiggle over here, it'll snap over to it. If you don't feel comfortable with it, just hold V and just pull it over there, all right? But I want you to snap it to the knee. And then Control D to duplicate it. And I'm just going to put one over there too, one on the other side. And we're just going to rename this one. All right, like so. Yay. Take both of them, and I want you to move them forward. I want them roughly to about a little bit in front of the toes, about that far, okay? So if your guys got big feet, pull them out farther. All right, so we'll say about that far. But this way they're directly in front of my kneecaps, okay? Now just go modify, freeze transformations, okay? So now what we're going to use these as a pole vector. So you'll see in a second. So you select the object you want. So this is a type of constraint. Constraints work opposite parenting. Usually you grab the child, then the thing you want to parent to, and you hit parent, P. Constraints, you select the thing you want to do the constraining, and then the object that you're going to constrain. So I'm going to grab this locator, then the ankle IK handle here. I'm going to go to constrain, pole vector. And you can see this little line pops out. Same thing on this side. Select this, shift select this, and this time just hit G because it was the last thing we did. G as in like good boy. Because my dog's a boy. Actually, she's a good girl. But all right. So now if I were to take this and move it, you're going to see that the knee is now in love with this pole vector. And so it allows me to basically use these as a way of controlling them. Okay. Now, let's hook up these feet. So I'm going to take this. Right now, this controls this. I'm going to take this, the joint here. I'm going to select this curve and hit P. Same thing here. Select this joint. Shift select the curve. P. And now, when I go to move this, woo, it's the same thing as moving the thing there. Okay? I'm also going to take this, because here's one of the problems we could run into, is that if this goes beyond it, right, that doesn't look... That doesn't look very cash money, right? Is that what you could say? I'm not sure. All right, so what we're going to do is just parent it. It's not necessarily the best way to go about it, but we're just going to do it anyway. So I'm going to select this, shift select that, and hit P. Select this, shift select this, and hit P. And now that will also move with this foot. Yay! And you can see it still breaks, so might want to move it forward a little bit more, but more than likely, if you're back here, you're probably going to be rotating the foot forward too, so it's probably okay. Okay. Now what I want to do is this. We're going to basically hook up the reverse foot, because it's not very handy to have to like grab the joints each time. So we're actually going to select both of these foot controllers, and we're going to make a toe controller and a toe roll and a ball roll. Okay, so select both these foot controllers, this one and this one, and then I want you to well, let me show you this first. Select these two, and the only thing we're really concerned about with these is translation. So I want you to select those two, click and drag these here, and then right click and go lock and hide selected. And now you'll see this is the only thing that we control on these, which is nice, right? So you can see on rotate, I can't rotate it, but I don't need to because they don't rotate. So I want you to select these, select this one and this one, and select the scale, right click, and lock and hide selected, right? That way they don't try to scale them. I can still rotate and I can still move them because I need those things, and I'm just going to leave visibility on so that we have that as a possibility. So that's good. All right. Now, you've seen how we can remove attributes. Let's add some. So edit, add attribute. Boop. Okay. So we need O roll, and we want it to be of the type float. So these are all floats because I can do 0.1, blah, blah, blah. You could do integers, Boolean. So like visibility is obviously a Boolean. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, we can set a minimum and maximum, like can only go so high or only go so low. In our case, I don't want to do that because I want to go as far as I want. You can see that there's an override nice name. That just means if it gets truncated, you can have a name that's like a smaller version of it. But nice name is toe roll, so it still works. But if it's longer, you can see I got toe rolls as far as it goes. Toe roll. Okay, so toe roll. Blah, 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 blah. No spaces, obviously. And then just hit add. Don't hit OK. Add. Okay. Now, let's also do toe swivel. All right. And did I spell that right? I don't know. And hit add. And then let's do ball roll. Okay, and that's probably good enough. And then just hit OK. So now we have toe roll, toe swivel, and ball roll. Right now they do nothing. They're placeholders for stuff. Okay, but they can do stuff. We just haven't hooked them up to anything. All right. So now we're going to have to do these one at a time. So select this, the foot controller, and then actually have nothing selected. Let's do it this way. And go to Windows General Editors, Connection Editor. This guy. Boop. I'm going to show you how to do this two ways. This is sort of the old way, but I find actually students have an easier time understanding this than the other way. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to make a connection. You're going to pump the value. We're going to pump the value of this O roll into the value of the rotate Z of this. So basically, when I change toe roll, it's the same as rotating this. So we need to go out from toe roll into rotate Z of this joint. Okay, so select this curve, hit reload left, so this is outputs, okay? Then, if you have a hard time selecting it, just click on here and hit the down arrow. That'll move down the hierarchy. So select that, hit load, reload right. It's going to go from and to. You can actually switch it this way too, if you want to click on that if it gets messed up. So foot controller to reverse foot. So I want to go scroll all the way down, because whatever ones you add are always on the bottom of it. And you can see there's even more attributes than you see here. Anyway, so we're going to go from toe roll, and then we want to go to, where's rotate? Here we go. Rotate. See, it's grayed out. It's because this is well, it's kind of like vector. It's not just rotate, it's rotate X. Okay, so if you see it's, okay, so, or rotate these ones. We want to do to rotate Z. You're going to notice they both get highlighted, and notice they get italicized. Okay? Now watch. If I select this, and if I do toe roll, you now will see that whatever I put in there is what's going in there. So let's zero this back out. Okay? So now that's connected because we did that. All right. Now let's go ahead and do toe swivel. And which way swivel? Is it Y? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go toe swivel to rotate Y. So now if I have this selected and I do toe swivel, it will allow me to do this, right? So like I'm trying to put a cigarette out or something. That's the idea. Okay. And then the last one is this ball roll. Okay. Now we don't have that on here because I loaded the the toe. So click on this, down, down, so you get the ball, right? Reverse fit 3. And then reload right, and go for ball roll, open up rotate, and it's going to be rotate Z again. Boom, and close. So now you'll see that this will indeed do that, which is cool. This will swivel, which is cool. And ball roll will do this. Okay, so now we have those all working. Now let me show you another way of doing it. So go to Windows, Node Editor. Okay. So what I want you to do is select this Q, and then do it this way. Hit the down arrow so you get the second reverse foot, the toe one here. Then shift select this, and then what I want you to do is click on. Actually, can we do it? I have another way of. Yeah, and then click on this guy. This will do inputs and outputs. Okay, so these are all the nodes that we currently have selected. All right, so it's joint 2 is the one I want. Okay, because it's showing the inputs and outputs of what is selected. So this is the guy I'm trying to hook up, and I don't care. This is the shape node of this foot, so that's the visibility of it. This is the transform node. This is the thing that does the movements, and it's actually the one that has the attributes. So these are the two things I'm trying to hook up. So let's put this guy over here and this guy here. And if you click on this, it'll give you mini and then full. So go all the way open and go all the way open. Oops. Okay. And I want you to go from ball roll, or I'm sorry, toe roll. This is not the same order. We're going to go from toe roll to, I got to open up rotate here. Oops. There. To rotate Z. So I'm going to go toe roll, and I'm clicking drag. You see this little thing. And we're going to go snap it into this guy. Boop. Yay, and it made a thing there. So unit conversion, great. I didn't really need that, but now I want you to go from toe swivel to rotate Y. Yay. Okay, so you can see it's going from toe swivel, boom, 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 until it's rotate Y. Okay, now the last joint is this one. I need joint 3, and I actually think that was already up here. Joint 3, here it is, sweet. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we need joint 3. So we're going to open this up all the way. Open up rotate. And we're going to go from ball roll to the rotate Z of reverse foot of 3 here. Okay. That's another way of doing it. And I'm sure there's other ways too, but that's okay. So now if you look, if you click on this, there you go. See, it all works. Yay! All right, so we've got this pretty good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add. Well, let's add in one more thing. I just want to show you another thing. So go to Edit, add another attribute. So I select both controller curves, and we're just going to call it knee twist. Okay, and we'll hit OK. Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this curve. And then I'm going to shift select this one, the ankle IK here, which is my main one. And then I'm just going to go Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. I like the Connection Editor better. So you can see foot and IK handle. It automatically loads them up if you have them selected ahead of time, but that might be confusing for you. So go to Knee Twist, and then go down here, you'll see there's this twist attribute. Boop, and just put that in there. So what that means is that now, if you do knee twist, it'll actually twist the knee for you. So you don't even have to use the IK foot if you don't want to. I actually like doing the knee twist this way more than I like doing it that way. So, I'm going to click on this one and reload left. I'm going to select this one, reload right, and we're going to go from knee twist to twist and close that out. Okay, good. So now, I think these are pretty much hooked up. Okay, so that is how we make a reverse foot rig, I think. I don't remember if I missed anything, but I think that's all the stuff. There's things you can do too, like no flip legs and things, but oh, you know what, let's do this too, just make this easier. Select this, okay, and this one, and then you can type in 0 here. If you click on here, type 0, it'll make it disappear, or it's good to know, if you hit Control H, that's visibility, and you can see, you can press Shift I in order to bring it back. So, or also, if that ever happened, you go to Display, Show, Show, and you can Show Last Hidden. I think there was Show All Hidden. All. Okay? So if you, for some reason, that way those things aren't in the way, because I feel like they're a little bit too much to look at. Alright, and I think that's everything I wanted to add. Yeah, we're going to call that good. All right, so there's a reverse foot rig. Go team.